Hello everyone, I am back with another haul. This haul is from a recent antique mall shopping trip, and initially I did not set out to purchase vintage supplies and crafting supplies, but when I got into the antique malls I found these items and I just could not resist when the prices are as low as they are. And I believe there were some sales going on. I can't leave this stuff behind. And of course, some of it I can definitely use. But let's go ahead and get started. So I found some of this hem facing seam binding, and I use a ton of this. And I am out of pink, so I was happy. It seems like I have difficulties finding the pink seam binding, and on this day I found quite a bit of pink, so I was happy to find that. And I actually found a booth that had just bundles and bundles, so I still have quite a bit of these different colors, but the pink I will definitely keep and probably de-stash the colors that I already have multiples of. And I will show you what I keep them in. I have this, I think it's memory keepers. I believe it's for photos, but I found it at Salvation Army thrift store, and it's just perfect for the seam bindings and things like that. So you could see I have a lot of the seam binding, seam tapes, but as I said, I do need pink, so I will keep the pink and any other color that I'm running low on. That's a nice one. I did not realize that one was in there. Any other colors I'm running low on, there we go. Here's some vintage pink ruffle. I don't use ruffle too much anymore, so that one will probably be de-stashed. And I also found this vintage, I guess it's a really light mint green color, so I grabbed that, and it has some nice packaging as well. That could definitely be used in a junk journal. And then I thought this was really cool. Vintage furniture protector. Okay, so I guess it goes under like vase or something like that, so your furniture does not get scratched. But I just love this vintage packaging, and 39 cents. You definitely know that's vintage. You can't, 1965, you can't get anything for 39 cents anymore. All right, so then I thought this was really neat. A stitch guide. And then it has the inches on it. I don't see a date, but you can tell that is vintage. And there was just so much, and I finally just had to stop because, as I said, I was not there to get this type of supply. I was there for a different purpose. And oh, this is really cool. I've never seen these before. So they're vintage, definitely. You can see this one was 29 cents. So, but I did shoot some footage while I was there. I just want to warn you, I am not a vlogger, but I will insert some footage of my trip if you're interested. Okay, so here is the footage of the antique malls that we went to on this day, and you can see the sign there. It said Sewing Notion, so that definitely caught my attention. There was just so much stuff, and then you'll see here in a moment a pile, there it is, of vintage and possibly antique doilies and things like that. So you can see I just really had a great time. I am also a sucker for vintage paper items and things like that, so those definitely caught my attention. And then this booth here, I just absolutely loved this booth. You can see there's just stacks of fabric, and you'll see in a moment there's just baskets of laces and seam bindings and just all sorts of vintage supply. I think I was probably in this booth for about, it felt like an hour, but probably 30 to 40 minutes. My husband actually, oh, see all the seam binding there? I just love that. I love to use seam binding. But my husband came around asking me what I was doing because I was in this booth for so long. There was just so much room to move around. A lot of booths are just cramped. But this particular one was large. Everything was organized. They had great prices, so I just had a ball digging through there, and I just finally had to leave. I was not there to get this type of supply. I was there looking for things for my Poshmark closet, and needless to say, I left with a bag full of vintage supply and crafting items, which is fine because I do use that type of stuff. And then what I don't use, I offer up as de-stash lots. So I really had a great time going shopping here, and or at each of the antique malls, I should say. And this Christmas magazine there, I really wanted, but they just wanted so much for it. So I left it there. I really wanted to get it. It had such great images. So as I said, I was not there to get the vintage supplies for junk journals, but I typically always leave anywhere thrift stores with that type of thing. Here are some embroidery needles made in England, and just all sorts of vintage sewing supplies. Those are made in England as well. West Germany, okay. Those are definitely vintage. And here's another one made in England. Nice little packaging. All right, here's some more vintage. I guess these are bra savers. And then I found a package of these snap fasteners. And I really liked, this one caught my eye. I really liked this packaging. So I don't know if people use these for their actual purpose, but I do know that people like to use them in junk journals and crafting projects. So I found a stack of those. I like when they put the dates on them. So that one's pretty cool. Alright, so then I also found some vintage, some of it may even be antique, I don't know, but I found some vintage doilies. Okay, that's odd. I guess they ran, I've never seen that before. There's some gray thrown in there. Maybe they fixed it? I don't know. Alright, so here we have, okay, some vintage trim. And this one I thought was really pretty. And this one. So I just kept finding all sorts of vintage crafting supplies, and I just can't help myself when I find this type of stuff, especially at such great prices. Okay, I'm not, maybe this is a collar of some sort. Okay, and then we have some vintage lace. I found a huge, and they actually had 2 of these. I only grabbed one, and I'm wishing I would have grabbed both, because after getting home and just kind of looking through them, they have some great images, and they had a really great price on them, but I figured I should probably stop picking up vintage supplies, because I don't want to get into the situation I was in before, where I just had totes and totes and boxes just full of this type of stuff. And I actually destashed all of it, and I just really don't want to get back in that situation. But I figure I could buy some occasionally, keep what I want, and then offer up the rest to anyone who would be interested in it. And I'm really trying just to get some different unique type of things. I know I like to find and use unique items, so I'm trying to be selective when I do pick up some vintage supply. So these just really have some nice images. Here's some holiday books. Those will probably go into the Christmas junk journal kits I have been meaning to put together. I'm really hoping I get to start. I did put them on my to-do list. So I just got a nice stack of those. And it looks like all of them are vintage. So I wish that antique mall where I picked these up was close to me, because I would run and get that other bag. But it's about an hour away, so that is not going to happen. But look at this. This is really cool. I just love those vintage images. So that, I believe, was a nice find. And then I found these, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but they had a huge box of these packaging, and I thought it could be, the images were really nice. I thought it could be taken apart or used somehow in junk journals. So I grabbed a few of those. They wanted kind of a higher price, so I just grabbed a few of those. I found some vintage wallpaper border, and I thought it was really pretty. So I grabbed a couple of those. I am going to make a Winnie the Pooh baby book, so I was lucky to find these scrapbooking kits here, so that is nice. I'll add that to the things I've been collecting to make a Winnie the Pooh baby book. And okay, it looks like I have another bag of the snap fasteners, and a few more bags of laces. This one's really pretty. This one I may wind up keeping for myself, or a portion of it. Anyway, I thought this was really pretty. I don't have anything like this, so I might keep some of that and offer some of it. And then there's this bag. That's pretty. And I love finding this lace that's really soft. It's easy to work with. That one's pretty. They're all pretty. I know I keep saying that, but they really are. And this one's super soft. And there's a roll of this lace. And then the last two things I found, a couple of the golden books with the bunnies. I think I have a few others, so I might put together some sort of junk journal kit. That is what I found. So that is what I found. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.